When the United States stepped onto the pitch in Seattle for the World Cup round of 16, they had an entire nation expecting history. The stadium was deafening. The squad looked composed, carrying the momentum of a dominant group stage run right into their home field advantage. Off the pitch, they had just secured a bizarre, highly public victory. After a personal phone call from Donald Trump lobbying FIFA, the red card suspension for the team's lead scorer, Fuller and Balogun, was completely overturned. He was cleared to play, sending the fan base into overdrive. Between the boardroom miracles and the roaring crowd, the Americans believed they were invincible. Instead, they were walking blindly into a tactical trap they never saw coming. The final stat sheet shows the U.S. held the ball for 55% of the match, but in reality, they spent most of that time passing backward, entirely neutralized in the final third. Belgium set up in a rigid 4-2-1-3 defensive block. Forwards didn't press the center backs. Instead, they crowded the center to cut off every passing lane. When the Americans passed wide, the Belgian block shifted quickly, trapping playmakers against the sideline and stripping them of possession. The spatial squeeze paid off immediately. In the 9th minute, Belgium forced a turnover, bypassed the midfield, and fed Charles de Ketelaere for a tap-in. Raw possession numbers mean absolutely nothing when the opponent controls the physical geometry of the pitch. Despite being suffocated for half an hour, the U.S. found a lifeline in the 31st minute when Malik Turman fired a deflected free kick past Thibaut Courtois. Lumen Field erupted. The players swarmed each other near the corner flag, and for a fleeting moment, it felt like the momentum had actually shifted. Exactly 116 seconds later, that emotional high was permanently shattered by a catastrophic lack of focus. Belgium calmly restarted play. Oha loaded the left side and easily bypassed the disorganized U.S. midfield to give Leandro Trossard wide open space on the wing. As Trossard delivered the cross, the veteran center backs failed to communicate. They lost track of the runners entirely, allowing de Ketelaere to head in his second goal completely unmarked. Elite international teams ruthlessly exploit momentary lapses in concentration. Giving up the lead under 2 minutes after tying the match is a textbook example of systemic indiscipline. This chart shows the underlying metric that decided the match: ground duels. Belgium won 57% of them, establishing clear physical dominance whenever the ball was loose. What makes that number worse is that Belgium was heavily rotating their squad, resting star playmakers like Kevin De Bruyne, and relying on their reserves to outmuscle the hosts. They were constantly first to the second balls, diving into challenges and simply outworking the American midfield. You can draw up the most elaborate tactical plans in the world, but if your players lack the physical grit to win transition battles, the system will collapse. Desperate to regain control at halftime, manager Mauricio Pochettino shifted to a 3-4-2-1 formation to play straight through the Belgian block. But this aggressively high defensive line forced the U.S. goalkeeper to push dangerously high up the pitch as a sweeper. In the 57th minute, that risk became a nightmare. Matt Freese rushed out of his penalty box to clear a routine ball over the top and completely whiffed on the kick. Hans Vanaken collected the loose ball and curled it into a wide-open net from 30 yards out to make it 3-1. That unforced error instantly broke whatever psychological resolve the Americans had left. It reduced the rest of the half to a training exercise for Belgium, capped by a final stoppage time goal from Romelu Lukaku. Tactical gambles made in desperation rarely hide a team's physical vulnerabilities. They usually just amplify them. After the final whistle, the Belgian Federation posted a picture of their celebration online with a mocking caption referencing the pre-match controversy: "Overturn this." It was a brutal reality check. The U.S. learned that off-field political maneuvering and padded possession stats offer zero protection against precise, disciplined execution on the pitch. At the highest level of international soccer, systemic stubbornness and individual errors always lead to failure.